Yes, thank you. We thank the Lord for this opportunity that we have for today, for our annual delegates meeting. Before we start, I want to call upon the national chairman to call the meeting to order. Then we proceed. Bwana national chairman, karibu.
Good. Thank you, honorable delegates, wherever you are, fellow board members, sponsor committee, member of staff. I wish to call this 51st ADM to order by a word of prayer from our chair, sponsor committee, Madam Marianne Chege, please.
Good morning, everyone. Let's bow our heads for a word of prayer. Our mighty and everlasting Father, we come before you this morning. We want to thank you. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for good health, oh Lord. We thank you even for the care you have taken for each one of us. We can't forget to thank you for your provision, oh God, and even seeing us through the year 2020, which has been a difficult year for all of us. Lord, we know you are still our God, and you are still on the throne, oh God. You have helped us as we drive this business, oh God, and we commit this day unto your hearts, oh Father. We commit Telepost Sacco unto your hearts, oh Father. We thank you for the board of directors. We thank you for the management. We thank you for all the stakeholders, oh God, whom you have helped to steer this society to another level, oh God. We thank you and we worship you. As we start off this meeting for today, Jehovah God, we are praying for your guidance. We pray for your wisdom, oh God. And when we come to the end of it all, honor and glory will be unto your holy name. For this is our prayer of faith in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
I don't know. I want us to not to. Good. Thank you so much once again, Madam Marianne, for the prayer. I want again to take this opportunity to invite our National Honorable Secretary, Mr. Sospita Otieno, Mr. Samuel Sospita, to take us through the notice convening this 51st ADM. Sorry guys, I think microphone imeleta shida kidogo. I want to call upon our Honorable Secretary, Mr. Mwai Sospita, to read the notice convening the meeting, and then from there, take us through the list of delegates who are present in this 51st ADM. Thank you.
Thank you, National Chair. The notice convening the meeting, year 2021 annual delegates meeting. Notice is hereby given that the annual delegates meeting of Telepost Sacco Limited will be held virtually on Saturday, 17th April 2021 from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. in line with the government's guideline on COVID-19. Agendas are as follows. 1. Reading of the notice convening the meeting, reading and confirmation of minutes of annual delegates meeting held on 27th April 2019 and matters arising therein. Number 3, to receive chief guest address. 4, to receive and consider the chairman's report. 5, to receive and adopt the audited accounts for the year ended 31st December 2020. 6, to receive and adopt treasury report for the year 2021 and approval of proposed budget for the year 2022. Number 7, supervisory committee report. Number 8, to receive and adopt resolutions. Number 9, elections by rotation of board members and supervisory committee members. Number 10, to conduct any other business for which notification has been given 7 days before the ADM date. That's the notice convening the meeting, Bwana Chair. Now, next to the program, I want to take this opportunity to welcome all our delegates, starting from delegates from Nairobi. We have our delegates from GSM, where our National Vice Chairman comes from. We have the Accounts and Finance, where we have our Board of Directors, Chairperson of the Committee, Madam Fatuma. We have the GPO posting. We have MDs and CEOs City Square, where the National Secretary comes from. Human Resource, Property and Maintenance. Of course, we have Wanajafeth Oworo-Chola, Engineering South, Posta North, where we have the National Treasurer, who is also here with us, Engineering Central, Supplies, Samoto Transport, where one of our board directors comes from, Madam Joanna Ogola, and Secretary of the Episcopal Committee, Tom Opio. Of course, we have Postal South, Harrison Arama, and Postal Eastlands, where Director Ngelese comes from. From our branches outside Nairobi, we welcome you all. We have Embu, Kakamega, Kapsabet, Kericho, Thika, Voi, Machakos, Busia, Bungoma, Iten, Garissa, Kisumu, Mandera, Lodwar, Butere, Mumias, Nyeri, Eldoret, Homa Bay, Kabarnet, Nakuru, Meru, and Wajir. Welcome, delegates, to this very important meeting. Now, at this juncture again, I want to call upon the National Chairman to come and introduce the Board of Directors, Official Committee members, and the guests who are here with us, and those who are watching us far from the venue. Chairman, welcome.
Thank you so much, Honorable Secretary, Mr. Sospita Otieno Mwai. I want to take this opportunity once again to introduce my fellow directors. We have Honorable Secretary, Mr. Sospita Otieno Mwai, our National Vice Chair, Mr. Charles Biketi, our National Treasurer, Mr. Gerald Maina. So, as a committee, we have Director Fatuma Mohammed, the Chairperson of the committee. We have Joan Ogola, Subsidiary Committee Secretary, and Mr. John Muraya, members, Credit Committee, sorry. Audit Committee, we have Director Celestine Ngelese. We also have Muraya as the Chair of Audit Committee. Together with the Education Committee, we have Director Director Ellen Toom. Members of the committee, we have Chair Marianne Chege, Secretary Opio Tom, and the member Walter Bukhari. Our guests are yet to arrive, or they could be linked up with us wherever they are. Our chief guest is Madam Dolphin Aremo, County Director, Nairobi. And of course, the other guest is our DCO, Madam Roslyn. Thank you so much. And myself, the current National Chair, Mr. Mohammed Kipsang. So I think upon this time, I'll also call our CEO to introduce our member of staff that are here, briefly, and then proceed. Thank you so much.
Good morning, delegates and members. We thank the Lord for allowing us to be here this wonderful morning. We take the opportunity to welcome you to our 51st annual delegates meeting, and maybe to add a virtual annual delegates meeting. We are glad that we are here this morning. I'm here to introduce the staff in brief, beginning with myself. My name is Miriam Dekay, the CEO Telepost Sacco. We have not here on site, but I'll introduce them. Simon Muniu, who is our accountant. We have Alice Nyawira, our HR and admin manager. We have Gerisha Mominde, our ICT manager. We have Isaac Bosire, our credit manager. We have Nelly Chepkoril, our FOSA manager. Isaac Maombe, the staff in charge of debt and marketing. We have Eric Mosioki, our internal auditor. We have George Ogutu, our loans officer. Jensita Mbia, our customer care. We have Dana Wanjiro, our sales representative. We have Sylvester Mwenda, our sales representative. We have Pascal Chai, he's our office assistant. Karen Chebon, our assistant accountant. And last but not least, Janet Jerop, our teller. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, National Chairman. Allow me now to go through the minutes of the annual delegates meeting of Telepost Sacco held on the 7th April 2019. Dear delegates, may I ask you to be ready? Any concern that you have on the minutes, immediately I'm through, we'll pick your matters arising from the minutes, and the responses will be done by our national chair. So we go through the minutes of the annual delegates meeting of Telepost Sacco held on the 7th April 2019 at Mwalimu National Towers. Present from the board members, all were present, led by the national chair, Wanda Mohamed Kipsang. So visual committee members were all present, led by the chairperson, Mrs. Mary Ann Chege. 70 delegates were present. All staff were also present. The chief guest was Mrs. Dolphin Aremo, Nairobi County Cooperative Director. Other guests were Madam Sakuda from PCK, Dennis Gidinji, Telecom, Henry Ochang from HR Telecom, Omenda, Kou, Juliana, DCO Kamkunji, Jendi Rangu, DCO Stare, Esther Oncheku, Stare Sub-County Officer. Introduction, the meeting started at 9:15. The word of prayer were offered by Mr. Abed Mwaisaria and Wanagatu. The secretary, Mr. Sospita Mwai, read the minutes, which were confirmed. We go to minutes 2, reading of the notice of the meeting. The national secretary, Mr. Sospita Mwai, read the notice convening the meeting and the day's agenda. Minute 2 was reading of the previous meeting minutes. Matters arising from the minutes were as follows. Gilo Kisumu Ndichu from Dhika required about the status of the cooperative tribunal cases. The chairman in his reply stated the issue was duly covered in his report. Jackson Juma Kitale asked the society why the society did not issue a circular to members about the increase of shares deposit from 1,000 to 2,000. The chairman in his reply said the matter was discussed at the special delegates meeting and duly approved. Consequently, a circular was issued by the own secretary. Number 3 was Jared Gilo, who also asked why 2018 branch minutes were not responded to by the board. The chairman asked the chief executive officer and the national secretary to look into the matter and apologize to the delegates on behalf of the board. Njuki Meru Paul Odero from GPO Posting asked about the status of the liquidation of Posta investment and delay of PCK remittances. The chairman in his reply informed the delegates that the two issues will be duly responded to by his report. Gilo Kisumu asked PCK members why PCK members are the only ones contributing into the benevolent fund. The chairman in his reply said the society and Telecom HR will meet to resolve the problem. Minute 3 was about the chairman's report. The national chairman presented his report. It was agreed that the contents of the same will be discussed after the presentation of both the audit accounts and forensic audit. Speech by the invited guest. We had Sakuda from HR, applauded the efforts of society to ensure that the backlog of remittance is cleared. Dennis Gidinji also assured the board that Telecom will continue to support and assist the society in terms of prompt deduction and remittance. Kerry Ochan also asked the leaders to consider rebranding so as to accommodate others. Omenda Kou acknowledged the effort that the society has made far to improve the lives of members by granting them loans. Omenda also urged Nairobi delegates to team up with the union to push for the prompt remittance from employers. He also encouraged the delegates to boldly support support and champion the solution made during the ADM. The leaders should give members hope and positive at all times. Madam Juliana, Cooperative Officer Kamukunji, added that there are numerous evidence of how cooperative change the lives of people, and therefore the society interests should be safeguarded. She noted that the recent negative publicity against the governors in SACCOs should not be taken lightly, and leaders should ensure they lead by example. The chief guest, Madam Aremo, started by welcoming the new delegates to the society, to SACCO leadership, and gave the brief history of the Ministry of Cooperative. She gave a list of the 5 top cooperative Nairobi, top 5 cooperative in Nairobi, and congratulated the SACCO for entering into the billionaire bracket. In her remark, she informed the delegates about the emerging issues in the movement, which were as follows: impact on members whose debate was dropped, proposal to increase the holding tax from 5% to 10%, which remains a bill and not an act yet, ongoing new policy development which will clarify the roles of the county and national governments. SACCOs would participate in its formulation. Regulation of non-deposit taking SACCOs by SASRA. IFRS 9, whose implementation has resulted to low returns for SACCO. Introduction of vetting committee, which will be vetting all interested candidates. MOU with the ESC, which is meant to enhance cooperative governance. In conclusion, the county director appreciated the effort being made by the current board to improve the SACCO liquidity. She assured the delegates that the SACCO is already surmounting into current challenges, and urged delegates to deliberate on the agenda of the day with the aim of adding value to the society. The chairman appreciated the county director's remarks and her effort in moving the liquidation issue to enable the SACCO improve its liquidity. He therefore invited Mr. Gillo, who led the delegates in appreciating the director with a hearty clap. Minute 3 was presenting of the 2019 audited finance statement, which was done by Joram from Masas and was adapted for discussion. Matters arising were as follows: Deka, Delegate Ndishu, asked why 205 million should be written off without knowing who took the money. The same sentiments were held by Mr. Gatu from Nyeri. The national chairman in his reply clarified that the 205 million appeared as loans given to members, yet no amounts could be attached to single member. Nyaura Migori expressed his concern about the society's governance system and stated that the board should be able to know the loans issued in certain year for the purpose of accountability. The national chairman in his reply said the previous system had problems and was replaced with the current one, and was recommended by the former external auditor Nganga Mwangi. He also explained the huge net loss for the year was the result of provisions made to clean up the SACCO books and reflect true and fair position of the performance. We go to minute 4, was presentation of forensic audit, was done by the external auditor, Mr. Mwangi Nganga, and was adopted for discussion. Matters arising was Samuel Kiprotich, Engineering Central, Joseph Mutai, Eunice Ochieng. CIA requested Mwangi to shed more light on the 205 million. The auditor explained that the previous system in use by the society contributed to the errors associated with the 205 million. He went on to explain that he recommended the migration to more efficient system. He said the figures being written off are historical and their origins cannot be ascertained from the books or the Sacco system. He also confirmed to the delegates that the society has filed cases with the Cooperative Tribunal to recover the loans given to former board of directors. Minute 5 was matters arising from the chairman's report, and there was follows. Madam Rispa from ICT inquired about the strategy that the society has put in place to recruit young people. The CEO noted that the society has developed attractive credit product and has become more technical savvy by rolling out the mobile banking platform and web portal. Kimutai, Accounts and Finance, asked about the interest rates charged on normal loans, which, according to him, was higher than the commercial banks. The chairman, in his reply, assured the delegates that Sacco loans were more affordable than banks' loans. He directed the Sacco accountant to share the calculation with the leaders in their WhatsApp platform. Kipko H. Kericho asked whether the society would be able to clear the normal loans backlog if PCK remitted all the money owed to the society. He also noted that he was not able to access the SACCO's portal. The national chairman, in his reply, said the society would definitely be able to clear the backlog and also meet other financial obligations if PCK cleared the remittance backlog. On the issue of the web portal access, the system administrator confirmed that the portal is working, but all users must have log-in credentials. He advised the delegates to update the Sacco with their telephone numbers. Madam Rispa, ICT, asked whether the members are aware of the Sacco new web portal. The national chairman and the system administrator asked the delegates to assist in creating member occurrence as they go back to their stations, as this is a newly launched product. Sadrak from E10 wanted to know why the PCK has not remitted the recoveries despite the assurance to regularize made by the GMHR and during the 2018 ADM. The national chair in his reply said PCK representative Madam Sakuda in her speech gave hope and promised to address the issue of remittance backlog. Njuki Meru asked about the former director's loans. The chairman in his reply said that these cases were handed over to the Cooperative Tribunal after all the internal efforts to recover failed. After lengthy deliberations on the chairman's report, the delegates made the following resolutions. 1, sale of Isili property for at least Kenya shillings 90 million. This was proposed by Jared Gilo, seconded by Mibei Kapsabet. Writing off of unsupported loans of Kenya shillings 205 million. Unsupported insurance claims of 10,388,888 shillings. This was proposed by Sadak Ngenyi 10, seconded by Collins Kapsabet. Number 3, sale of Cooperative Bank shares to members for the purpose of raising liquidity. This was proposed by Dorcas Etemisi Kakamega, seconded by Abed Mwasaria Mombasa. Minute 6 was Treasurer's report. The report was presented by the National Treasurer, Bwana Jared Mahina, and was adopted for discussion. Matters arising from the report and responses was as follows. Kimutai, Accounts and Finance asked the treasurers to create ratio column. The treasurer in his reply said the same will be considered in the future report. Gatu Nyeri asked why there was increase of legal fees. The CEO responded by saying that the society had 3 legal matters involving Gitonga Muriuki in which the society was instructed by the court to pay the former society lawyer a total of taxation amount of Kenya shillings 9.9 million. The budget was approved as proposed by Ms. Nyaura Suna, seconded by Jeremiah Towet. Minute 7 was Supervisory Committee report, was presented by the chairperson, Madam Mary Ann Chege, and was adopted for discussion. There was no matter arising from the report. The last but not least was the ADM election by rotation. The national chairman welcomed the DCO, Kamkunji, to conduct elections of 3 board members and 2 supervisory committee members. The board members whose positions were declared vacant were Mr. Mohamed Kipsang, Jared Maina, Francis Kibelio, who was not defending his position. Mr. Mohamed Kipsang, Mr. Jared Maina were elected unopposed. Mr. Jared Maina was proposed by Isaac Ndishu, seconded by Ms. Amina Abdi. The national chairman was proposed by Ms. Mary Mutura, seconded by Sadak Ngeny. The supervisory position was contested by 2 candidates, Ms. Ellen. There's an error there. The next election was the board for the board, where Madam Ellen Toom was elected with 49 votes, with her rival Bonachirono getting 23 votes. Ms. Ellen Toom was declared the new board member. The 2 contestants of the Supervisory Committee were elected unopposed, that is Miriam Chege. Proposer was Gilo, seconder Kiambati. Walter Bukheri was proposed by Dorothy, seconded by Mr. Mbuvi. There being no other business, the meeting was closed at 7 p.m. with a word of prayer from Ms. Janet Obonyo. At this juncture, I want to invite our national chairman, who will respond to the responses, matters arising from our delegates. Thank you, Chair.
Before I proceed, I want to recognize the presence of our chief guest, Madam Dolphin Aremo, who is our county director, Nairobi. Alongside her is our DCO Stare, Madam Rosaline, who have just come. Thank you so much, our guest. Honorable delegates, as you prepare matter arising from the minute that has just been read by our Honorable Secretary, I'll be able to go through the chair's reports, and as soon as I'm through the chair's reports, I'll be able to respond to the matters arising from the previous minutes, which I'm sure the technical team are picking the question from the chat that are streaming in. I've been guided by the county director that the meeting is strictly 2 hours, and we just need to make some highlights of our report, and then he'll be able to respond. In any case, we did send the booklet yesterday, although I know some of you are not able to get the hard copy, but I'm sure you must have gotten the soft copy in time, and therefore you must have gone through the reports, as we told you that the meeting is only 2 hours. So I'm sure you've gone through the reports, and I'll only be able to make highlights of my reports, of the chair's reports, and thereafter I'll pick matter arising from your end. Thank you so much. The chief guest, Director of Cooperative Nairobi, Stare Sub-County Cooperative Officer, the Cooperative Officer present, Board of Directors, delegates, members of staff, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to welcome you to the 51st Annual Delegate Meetings of Telepost Sacco Society. I would like to begin by thanking the Almighty who has protected us through the unprecedented year 2020 and enabled the Sacco to continue being in business. Year 2020 was the most disruptive year in the recent history of mankind. The declaration of the COVID-19 virus as a global pandemic by WHO prompted governments, ours included, to institute drastic measures to contain its spread. We wish those battling the virus quick recovery and send our condolences to the families that have suffered the loss of loved ones. We reiterate the need of all of us to continue complying with the COVID-19 preventive guidelines in private and public space alike. On the Sacco performance, I want to say that in the year under review, the Sacco recruited 146 new members as compared to 87 members in the previous year, that's 2019. Within the same year, 55 active members issued their withdrawal notice out of which 40 retired or resigned from employment. The Sacco therefore closed the year with a total active membership of around 1,273. That's where we are now as at 2020. Members deposit, as of December 2020, total member deposit dropped by 7% from Kenya shilling 483.7 million to Kenya shilling 449.5 million. The drop was majorly as a result of the refunds dormant members who have waited for their deposit for many years. A total of 27.8 million was utilized for exited members refunds in the year 2020 as compared to 15.5 million in the year 2019. Of course, these are simply because the list was long from 2009. On the loan to members, in the last financial year, loan to members grew to 312 million from Kenya shilling 285 million in the year 2019, a growth of 9% compared to a growth of 12% in the year 2019. The reduced growth rate is attributed to lower loans uptake, caused by reduced ability to borrow as a result of slow business and unpaid salary. There's a chart below there that explains the portion of the loan, vis-a-vis the deposits. On the portfolio at risk, in the year 2020, the society recovered 11.2 million from defaulted loans as compared to 6 million recovered in the year 2019. This was made possible by vigorous recovery effort by our staff, the debt collectors, and the tribunal. Member service, FOSA activity. We are proud to report that FOSA performed its best in the year 2020. The salary accounts grew by 40% to 602 as compared to 429 in the year 2019. There was also 161% growth of salary processed at FOSA from Kenya shilling 76 million to Kenya shilling 203 million, which in turn results to improve loans uptake, thereby increasing loan recovery at FOSA by around 80%. We are grateful to members who have responded positively to the call of channeling their salary to FOSA, which has helped us reduce check-off deduction significantly, especially for our POSTA members. On the barrel benefit, this is the BBF. You remember we in the special delegate meeting that took place in 2018, we did come up with this product called BBF, and it's doing well. And we're embracing it very well. And under that same period, we had a loss of five in its members and 5 dependents through unnatural attrition. In an unfortunate event of a member death, the next of kin receives 60,000 for burial arrangement and deposits doubled. If the member spouses passes on, the funds pays the 60,000 to the family. We encourage all members to join effort by contributing 300 shilling monthly to fund to ensure bereaved families find consolation. As we grow the funds constantly, we shall review the possibility of including the children as from 2022. On the ICT, the Sacco upgraded its mobile banking platform within the year by introducing Pesa Tele. Members have embraced the channel by applying for mobile loans and transacting on their FOSA accounts. In the wake of COVID-19, members utilized mobile banking and ATM channels and hence avoided handling of cash as required. The trends are very encouraging, and we believe that better results will be realized going forward. Additionally, the Sacco upgraded its telephone systems, which are ease communication and enable better calls management. We will continue to leverage on technology to give members convenience, competitive, and efficient round-the-clock customer experience. Area of improvement, the Sacco operating environment has not been without challenges, some of which are highlighted below. Non-compliance, although the Sacco ratios improved marginally last year, the Sacco requires to establish adequate reserves and grow its retained earning. The Sacco is committed to continuously employ necessary strategies for long-term prosperity. On the non-remittance, the Sacco is still grappling with unremitted reduction by posta. As at the close of the year, the backlog stood at around 69 million. The board has pursued these monies relentlessly and will continue engaging the employer in order to safeguard members' interests. On the aging membership, the Sacco members are retiring at higher rates every year, which reduces patronage. The board is employing all necessary strategies to recruit the next generation of the while retaining the retirees. Members refund. Within the last 1.5 years, payment of refunds to members progressively from the year 2009 to the year 2019, that's where we are now, 2018, that's where we are now. Even though the movement is remarkable, we still have around 45 million as amount outstanding as at December 2020. The society future is bright, and we will therefore continue engaging the exited members to rejoin or rather retain their membership once they exit from the place of working. On the closing remark, I wish to say I'm certain that our society's success lies in the robust mobilization of deposit, growth of membership, scaling up member involvement with the Sacco, focus on world-class customer care, and harnessing technology to achieve ease of doing business with the society. The success of the year 2020 would not have been possible without the support of our various partners. We appreciate our members' institutions, the regulator, the apex body, the bankers, and other service providers who do their best to render their services and to partner with the Sacco in spite of challenges. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, we are immensely grateful to Almighty God for sparing us and seeing us through these difficult times. We continuously trust that we shall continue to strive despite of what tomorrow holds for us. Thank you so much. Long live Telepost Sacco. Just hold on. Honorable delegates, there was a small mishap. We never captured the sale obviously in the chair's reports. And I want to inform you that the sale obviously was finally concluded in 2020. That was last year. You remember when we had a special delegate meeting, the delegates did mandate the board to sell the plots at around 90 million. But with the help of God, we were able to get a client or a buyer who bought the house at 100 million. We sold the building at a price of 100 million. And out of that, this was the breakdown. 44.5 million went to service the bank loan. You remember we had a loan that was historical, so we decided to use part of the ECL proceeds to settle to reduce our backlog and to reduce our loan position at the bank. And 45.5 million was channeled to the business and refund. I know we are waiting to hear what the chair asks about the society's performance. That is critical. And I wanted to say that in the recent year, members of the society have not received any returns for their investments, majorly because of the difficult operating environment. Despite the toughest year in living memory, we are pleased to be able to approve a distribution, to approve our distribution. The board proposes a payment of interest on deposit held by members as at the rate of 3%, which translates to around 11.35 million on a pro rata basis, to be paid to members in cash. That's what I was reminded to read. Thank you so much, and sorry for that mishap. Thank you so much, honorable delegates. I think we'll be able to ask for your approval on that area of dividend through the charts. Meanwhile, I don't know whether the matter rising is ready. Okay, sorry. Good, I'm guided here. We need to adopt the minutes. So, honorable delegates, again through the chat, you'll be able to adopt the meeting by giving us proposer and seconder. At the same time, also, I'll request for adoption of the chair's reports. Through the chat, you'll be able to give us proposer and seconder. Thank you. Again, just remind you, whoever's proposing the minute and seconding the minutes, please chat, drop down your name, and of course your branch. Equally, on the chairman's report, those who are proposing and seconding, please drop down your names and your branch. Thank you. Thank you, Dorcas Etemesi. She has proposed adoption of the minutes. About second. So we could have written down. So we indicate Chin is proposing.
Dorcas Etemesi has proposed, and Joash Mebei from Kapsabet has seconded.
That is what? Minutes, eh?
Minutes, yeah.
Chairman's report, is it coming?
Caroline Koskei has proposed for chairman's minutes. Chairman's report. And Janet Obonyo has seconded.
Thank you. Thank you so much, honorable delegates. So, do you have the responses? Kuna maswali za minutes, questions. Ni mingi.
Sio mingi.
Yeah, that's okay.
Now, thank you, delegates. There was a question from one Peter Njuki on the sale of Isli. The question is, the sale of Isli property was the sale of Isli property successful, and how much did we realize from it? Analyze the distribution of the money from it.
Thank you so much, Juki from Meru. Isli was disposed at a cost of 100 million. 44.5 million went to reduce our loan at the Cooperative Bank, and 45.5 went to business. Thank you.
The second question comes from PF 21973 from Nyeri. He's asking for an update on Cooperative Tribunal concerning the response on the former director's loans.
Thank you so much, Gatu, Chair Nyeri branch. All the loans, all the cases that were taken to courts, tribunal court for the board of directors are ongoing, and they have got different stages. There are different stages of hearing, and as soon as they are concluded, we'll be able to communicate to you guys on the position of those cases, together with the case for the fraud at FOSA. Thank you.
Now, there's another question from Peter. He's asking you to give the breakdown on dividend paid by Cooperative Bank for the shares for the year ending 2019-2020, and also give the breakdown of how many shares were sold to members.
Thank you so much. 2019, we got the dividends of around 80 million from Cooperative Bank. And 2020, we have just received a dividend of around 78 million. The shares that are the Cooperative Bank shares that are the Coop holding shares that have been sold to members is the tune of 387,800. You remember we had agreed that we'll introduce an internal register and dispose some of the shares to our members. So it stands at 387,800,000. Thank you, Bananjuki.
He's asking about dividend. I think you've already highlighted something to that. And another question from Bernard Movie. He wants to know selling of the house. I think that one is lease, so you can just highlight something on that too.
I've just mentioned, thank you, in Movie from Nakuru. I've just, the questions are the same as the question asked by Njuki, but I don't mind repeating again. I can say Sili was disposed at the cost of 100 million. 44.5 million went to reduce the loans at the Cooperative Bank, and 45.5 million went to business. Thank you. Chair Nyeri, thank you so much. When I just mentioned in the chair's reports that in the year 2020, the site recovered 11.2 million from defaulted loans. 11.2 million. Thank you, Chair Nyeri.
Is asking for our defaulters for the defaulters who've left without clearing their loans. What plans has the Sacco have done to avoid such losses in future in our financial reports?
Thank you, Mr. Solomon Kebut from Nakuru. Traditionally, what the rules say is that once a member ceases, when a member ceases to become a member, what we normally do in the first place, we go for his or her deposits and recover the deposits. And whatever is remaining, we share it among the guarantors who are guaranteed that particular member, or rather the loanee, if you are not able to recover the entire loan. And in case somebody is able to slip through our hand that we're not able to recover the loan, we put him or her to the debt collectors and, of course, the CRB. And that's why we've been doing all through. And also you can see we're able to collect close to around 11.2 million in the year 2020. Thank you, Kabut.
Simon Gashara is asking, members are asking why our charges, especially withdrawal or statement inquiries, are high compared to banks.
Thank you, Mr. Gashara, from MD's branch. Yes, that sentiment of interest or charges being high, you remember, gentlemen, that you've just come from a very difficult position and we're trying to build our liquidity. But going forward, as things normalize or as our level of liquidity in our society improve, we'll be able to look at the rates of interest wholesomely together with all the withdrawal charges, because at the end of the day, we want our members to benefit from the society. Thank you so much, Manakashara. And I think that one sums up matter arising from the previous minute that was just read by our Honorable Secretary. I don't know whether. Okay, thank you so much, Honorable Delegate. I think at this point I'll be able to invite our guest, the DCO, Madam Rosaline, to say something small, and thereafter welcome our chief guest, Madam Dolphin Aremo from Nairobi County. Madam Rosaline, karibu.
The CEO, staff, delegates of Telepost Sacco, good morning. Okay, my name is Rosaline Mwithiga. As you have heard, I'm the Starehe Sub-County Cooperative Officer. Today, I'm pleased to be with you today for this meeting. And I'm happy to see the results. The society performance has gone up compared to last year. Being the fact that you are coming from 0% on interest on deposits to 3%, that is a very big achievement for the society. And also, Mr. Chairman, let me also thank you for the turning around the society and your board and also the delegates and also the staff. It's not an easy exercise. I know it has taken you some time to turn around this organization, but I can see the society has also drawn a business continuity plan, meaning that in future, we shall not be talking of 3%, we shall be talking of more than even 7%. So at this juncture, I don't want to take a lot of time. I want to invite the director to come and address the delegates. Asanteni sana.
The chairman and your board, the supervisory committee, delegates, cooperators, good morning. We are indeed privileged and happy to be with you today in your first virtual meeting. This is the first time we are having such a meeting. I know it's not been there before, but I'm happy that the delegates are following. I'm also assuming that we have full attendance. You know, when I hear people about virtual meeting, they think it's a meeting that is different from the normal ones. It's only that we are not seeing each other physically, but we are all in the meeting. We are here also by, there's another officer, I don't know that she was introduced, Margaret Garuya, is also here from my office. Rosaline Mwithiga, who has just talked to you, took over from Jen Dirangu. I know most of the delegates know Jen Dirangu. Jen Dirangu retired, and so I appointed Rosaline Mwithiga to be in charge of the sub-county, and she's also in charge of your society. Mr. Chairman, our role as a department is to promote growth and development of cooperatives. And in so doing, we ensure that the legislation is implemented. You are a DT cooperative, and so you also have the Sacco Act and the Cooperative Societies Act. And that is the reason why we consult a lot. I know the chairman and your team, you consult a lot, both in my office and in the commissioner's office. We work together for the benefit of the cooperative movement. Mr. Chairman, we suspended cooperatives meetings physically because of COVID-19 and the directives from the president. However, we allowed cooperatives to seek authority from the commissioner to do virtual and hybrid meetings. Hybrid is what we are having today, where the board members are seated together to consult, to be able to answer questions as a team, and the delegates are connected through a link. And so far, I can see there's a lot of success in this. I consider this society to be a society that has been going through some turnaround strategy. And so I see these leaders as transformational leaders. When I became the director, this society was not where it is now. I remember I'm the one who participated in the board meeting that removed some of the board members and some of the staff. And I told them I was going to work with them and that we would work together to ensure that the members are not disappointed. That was in a meeting that we had in Kenya Bankers. It was not a very good meeting, but I can assure you I lived to my word. And that is why today when I look at the audited accounts and see a return going to the member, however small, for me it is a serious achievement. In today's meeting, there will be a presentation of 2 audited accounts. Last year when we suspended the meetings, we allowed you to do a few things. One of them was appointment of auditors, disposal of surplus for those who had surplus. We allowed the board members who are due to retire to continue being in office. And I want to clarify that today's elections will be for 1/3 who are meant to retire last year. I have been asked questions severally that we should have elections for 2/3. Our clarification, Mr. Chairman, together with the Commissioner, is that elections are for 1/3. So we pushed the others 1 year ahead. Allow me to talk a little about your performance. Mr. Chairman, COVID-19 has affected cooperatives negatively. People have lost jobs. People are not able to get loans. People are not able to get returns on investments as a result of COVID-19. But I want to note here that in your society, even with those challenges, you have been able to do some disposals, especially of this house in Eastleigh, as per the guideline of your delegates. You have also been able to get some dividends from the bank, which has assisted you to do some business. And I want to say the sky is the limit. However, I've also noted that you have quite a number of dormant members. 2,753 is too high for a society like this one. Let us work towards cleaning our books of accounts so that if we cannot revive these members, then we can request them to maybe leave the society and we work towards giving them their refunds. This society is a billionaire cooperative. You can see from the books of accounts. The total assets went down. I know somebody will ask that, but it's because of the disposal of your assets. But you are still a billionaire cooperative. Nairobi happens to be hosting the top 10 cooperatives in the country, where Mwalimu Sacco is the strongest with a portfolio of over 50 billion, followed by Stima, followed by Police, followed by Arambe, Afya, Metropolitan, Unitas, UN, Ukulima. Those are the top cooperatives in the country, and they happen to be in Nairobi. As I've mentioned, you're also a billionaire cooperative. So when billionaires are called upon to stand up, your society will be there. I'm also happy, Mr. Chairman, that you have been at least able to get a license from SASRA. For you to get a license from SASRA is not a walk in the park. You must convince them to meet the ratios, and if you're not able to meet the ratios, you must put a plan in action on how we are going to achieve that. And that calls for frequent visits to the authority. If you don't succeed in that, then they withdraw the license. And the Act is very clear: when the license is withdrawn, then you also cease to operate as a back office. And so I want to appreciate that you have been able to be in business. Let me mention in conclusion a few developments that we have in the cooperative movement. We have the review of cooperative development policy, which is at an advanced stage. It has gone through public participation. Leaders converged at Amboseli sometime last month. Once this is concluded, we will be expected to review the Act and subsequently cooperatives to review their bylaws. The other development is the regulation of non-deposit taking circles. As you are aware, you have been under SASRA by virtue of the fact that you have a FOSA. Now all cooperatives with 100 million and above will be expected to be regulated by the authority. Regulation is a good thing. Within the authority, we have a unit called Fraud Investigation Unit. This is not meant to scare people into the leadership because we have officers posted there from DCI, but we are simply saying that members' funds which are being earned through sweat should be taken care of. Finally, Chairman, I want you to take this to the bank, count on our support, Commissioner's support, and that is why when you have issues of non-remittance, the Commissioner's doors are open, and every time he works on your documents. I know there is a time these matters also went to the Assembly, and it's because we were supporting each other. The PS was personally on this one. You will be having easy elections today. I'm saying easy because the positions are the same as the candidates. It will just be proposing and seconding, and I want to wish you best of luck, even in giving us leaders who are able to transform this organization. My desire, Mr. Chairman, is that next year, God willing, we should be moving from 3%, going to 5, 6, like that. Who knows? We may be at the level of police circle and the rest, who dispose around 10%. That should be our dream. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Madam Dolphin Aremo, our chief guest, Nairobi County. Honorable delegates, I'm sure you know we've come a long way. And as the director mentioned, is that we've heavily relied on them, supporting us right from the PS office, to Commissioner's office, to County Director's office, the SASRA's office, and of course the DCO's office. We've worked very closely from 2017 when I took over as the chair of Telepost Sacco Society. At that particular time, we had only 200,000 Kenya shilling in our accounts. Now we are boasting of almost close to 70 million Kenya shilling in our accounts. So that shows that we are serious about what you are doing. And as I've been telling you in our groups, the future is very bright. And anybody leaving Telepost Sacco Society will be doing a very big mistake. That one I've told all members and I've told my delegates that Telepost Sacco in the next 2 years will be very far from where we are now. The challenge from the director, Nairobi County, that we try as much as possible to move to 5% next year. That one is okay. We'll be able to do that because we have aligned ourselves properly on the way forward together with our technical team. The staff also doing very good job in terms of all the areas, loan recovery, ICT, giving out loan. They are doing pretty good job. And this is where we are because of their success. You know, any institution success, it will rely on the human resource. And they are doing pretty good job. So I'm told that matter rising that was raised, part of them also part of chairman reports. And there's a question that's been raised here through the chat, the breakdown on Isli. I think what happened is that in 2019, when we got the buyer for Isli, he had to show commitment. And as usual, 10% deposit was made. So 10 million was paid in 2019, which went into business. And at 2020, we received the remaining 90 million, which are given the breakdown there in terms of 44.5 and 45.5. Thank you, those who asked the question. I don't know, anything? Thank you so much. I think that one sums up chairman's reports and the matter arising from the chairman's reports and the previous minutes. So I think I'll hand over the mic to Honorable Secretary. But before that, I'll be able to call our National Vice Chair. I want to call our National Vice Chairman to give a vote of thanks to our chief guest, and thereafter we'll proceed from there. Thank you.
Well, the chief guest, Chairman, Telepost Sacco, Board of Director present, our honorable delegate, ladies and gentlemen, it is good morning. My name is Charles Biketi, the National Vice Chair, Telepost Sacco. It is my privilege and honor to give vote of thanks to all those who participated to make this event a reality. We would not have been here. And this event would not have been here without the support of our Almighty God and guidance and protection. First and foremost, I would like to thank our chief guest, Madam Tolfina Remo, who has always been with us. She has worked with us to see us through. I want also in a special way to thank the board of directors, my fellow board of directors, under the leadership of our chair, who have actually participated, worked tirelessly to see us improve. I equally appreciate even the work of delegates. You've been with us, you've supported us endlessly. There are moments we have found between a rock and a hard place, and you are there for us. I even recall the time we were forced to increase our deposit by half, and also share capital ×3. And you are there for us, you supported us. Mr. Chairman, such an event cannot happen overnight. I know with the effort of the staffs, I won't forget the staff who have also worked tirelessly to make sure that Sacco is moving. I cannot thank everybody enough. It is possible to omit a few. But for those who have omitted, please bear with me. And with that few remarks, I say thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
Our National Vice Chair, Mr. Charles Biketi. We now want to call upon our auditor to give us the reports of the audited account for 2020.
Good morning. My name is Joram Molei. I work with Masas as the audit manager. I was in charge of this audit. I'll take you through the audited financial statements. I will take you through the audited financial statements for the year ended at 1st December 2020. Please turn to page 24. This is the statement of compressive income, where you note there you have the revenue for the year, majorly the interest on loans and advances, other interests. In the year ended, the total interest received was at 7.2 million, compared to 2019 where you had reported at 2.7. Other interest income, in 2019 you had 3.8, while in 2020 you had 960,000. So the total interest income was 38.2 million in 2019 and in 2020, while in 2019 you had 36.6. Interest expense, as at December 2020, you have reported 25.7, while in 2019 you had 27.4 million. The net interest, which is usually the total interest less the interest expense, was 12.5 million. In 2019, 9.2. So there is not a increase there. Other operating income, you have 183.6 million in 2020, while in 2019 you had 175.6. Personnel expenses, 18.6 million, while in 2019, 37.3 million. There was a reduction in the cost to the staff. And the main expenses, in 2020 you have 28.4, while in 2019 you had 39.1 million. Governance expenses, 2020 you had 7.8 million, while in 2019 11 million. Provision for loans, 11.9 in 2020, while in 2019 5.8. The net operating surplus was 129.3 million in 2020, while in 2019 you had 91.4 million. Other non-operating expenses, in 2019-20 you had none. 2019 you had 87 million. Sorry, you had 4.2 million for the loss on sale of shares, while in loss on sale of assets 170,000 in 2019. So in 2020 you did not report anything on that lines. Bonus shares, in 2020 you had nothing. 2019 for 14,000. Tax provision, in 2020 the tax payable, or rather the tax charge, was 2.8 million, while in 2019 you had 2.3 million. The total compressive income after tax, in 2020 you have 126.4 million, while in 2019 you had 85.1 million. Transfer to statutory reserve, which is usually 20%, you have 25.2 million in 2020, while in 2019 17 million. The total compressive income for the year, you have reported 171,666 shillings, while in 2019 you had 68 million. So as you can see, there are notable increase there. Let's turn to page 32 for details of some of these figures. You have 3A, where you have the interest. There are no breakdowns there, so it is simply the interest from the member loans. That's 7.2 as you have seen. Interest on savings, 960,000. Let's go to note 4, interest expense. You have breakdown of some of the makeups there. As at the end of the year, the total interest expense was 25.7 million, while in 2019 you had 27.4 million. Interest on member deposits. I present the ones with the material changes. You had 11.3 million, as indicated by the guest there, 11.3 million. So you had interest on your deposits, which is not, in 2019 there was nothing, and probably 2018. Bank loan, there was interest reduction there from 22.2 million reported in 2019 to 12.2 million in 2020. Other interest, you have reported 956,000, while in 2019 you had 126,000. Lease liability interest, as per FRS 16, this is a new application of the standard. You had 1.1 million. In 2019, you had not yet started applying the standard. Note 5, other operating income. The total reported is 10.9 million. In 2019, 14 million. Loan provisioning fee, you had 8.2 million in 2019. 2020, you had 8 million. Rental income upon disposal. In 2020, there was none. 2019, there was 4.2 million. Sundry income, you had 2.8 million in 2020, while 2019 you had 1.4 million. Dividends. Post-investment dividend, there was none in 2020, while in 2019, 8 million. Post-investment liquidation dividend, you had 10 million. 2019, you had 70 million. Cooperative auditing dividend received 80.1 million in 2020, while in 2019, 83.2 million. Gain on sale of land and building, the total amount that you gained from the deal was 82.4 million. The total and that line is 172.6 million, while in 2019 you had 161.6 million. So the total other operating income 183.6 in 2020, while in 2019 175.6. Let's go to turn to page 33. Personnel costs. The total personnel costs amounted to 18.6 million in 2020, while in 2019 you had 37.3 million. Staff medical increased from 637 reported in 2019 to 1.9 million in 2020. I'm reporting the ones with the material changes. Staff recruitment cost the staff gratuity changed from 472,000 reported in 2019 to 1 million reported in 2020. There was also the staff rationalization, which you had reported 20.6 million in 2019. In 2020, there was no such activity. So the total reported 18.6 in 2020, while in 2019, that's 7.3 million. Admin costs under Note 7, the total reported is 28.4 million, while in 2019, you had 39.1 million. Commission on sale of building, you have reported 8.2 million in 2020. 2019, there was no such expenditure. The amortization on the right of use of assets. So this is per the Note 4, the lease liability interest is associated with FRS 16, where the total reported was 2.4 million. In 2019, as I said, you had not started applying this standard. We have Islam building expense. The expense related to that operation, you reported 1 million in 2020. In 2019, there was no such expense. Link office, in 2019, you had reported 10.6 million, while in 2020, 800,162 shillings. Okay. The bank charges also reduced materially, where in 2019 you had 3.9 million, while in 2020, 786,000. So there was a reduction in that line. The last line on this, which has changed materially, you have office rent and service charges, where the total reported in 2019 you had 2.9. In 2020, there is none there reported. So the total on this line is 28.4, 2019, 39.1. Let's turn to page 34. Governance expenses. The total reported in this line in this year was 7.8 million, 2019, 11 million. Board and delegate sitting allowances, you have reported 5.2 million in 2020, while in 2019 you had 3.4 million. Education to members, delegates, and board of directors elections, you have reported 1.3 million in 2020, while in 2019 you had 3.5 million. Medical cover, you have 1.1 million in 2020, while in 2019 you had 1.6 million. So the total for 2020, 7.8, while in 2019, 11 million. The provision for loans as per the requirement, the total provided in 2020 was 11.9 million, while in 2019, 5.8 million. So we have gone through the notes which are explaining the income statement. So let's come back to the income statement. That is on page 24. So we have gone through all these, the numbers making up these totals shown in this page. So we should now proceed to the balance sheet. That is page 25. This is the statement of financial position showing the Sacco assets, the Sacco liabilities, and the equity. The total assets of the Sacco amounts to 1,521,200 shillings, while in 2019 you were at 1.2 billion. So there is a reduction there, which can be explained by the changes shown there. The cash in hand and bank, you had 85.5 million in 2020 as at December, while in 2019 you had 93.3 million. Debtors and prepayments, 110.4 million in 2020, while in 2019 104 million. Net loan to members, you have reported 171.3 million, while in 2019 you had 156.2 million. Investments, 616 million in 2020, while in 2019 824 million. Inventory, the total stock held was 170,000. In 2019 you had 93,000. Rights of use of assets, 7 million. This is now the same FRS 16 application for the first time. That's why there is no comparison in that line. Then intangible assets, 2 million from 1.4 million in 2019. Fixed assets, 7.3 million in 2020, while in 2019, 72.8 million. Liabilities of the Sacco amounts to 558 million, while in 2019 you had 684.5 million. Member deposits amounts to 449 million, 449.5 million. In 2019 you had 483.7 million. Investment on member deposits, interest on member deposits, 11.3 million, as you have seen in the income statement. Tax payable, the total payable corporation tax was 7.3 million in 2020, while in 2019 7.1 million. Creditors and accruals, in 2020 you had 30.6 million, while in 2019 41.8 million. Member cooperative holding shares, you had 2.3 million in 2020. Lease liabilities, that is still the same FRS 16, you had 8.3 million. Cooperative bank, 48.6 million, while in 2019 you had 151.7 million. So that totals to 558.2 million in 2020. The equity, this shows the reserves, the member share capital, and also the statutory reserve amounts. The total for the equity is 443.2 million, while in 2019 you had 569 million. So the account balance at 1 billion in 2020, in 2019 1.2 billion. So let's turn to page 35. Okay, so we start from page 34. Right of use of assets, this now as an asset, where you have 7.7 million. What the FRS 16 means, this right of use of assets, amortization, and also the interest, is that where you have a leasehold property, the lessee or the telepost will have a right of use of that asset because you signed the agreement and you are paying some amount. So it gives you some possession rights in form of money. On the other hand, the owner of that asset has the ownership of his land. So that's why there is a liability. So as a lessee, as telepost, you have the possession rights in form of amount, and the owner of the building has the ownership rights in form of the amount, which is a liability. Your case is an asset. So the telepost has 7.7 million rights over that asset, while the owner has 8.3 million as shown under note 13. In this case, FRS 16, it means that you will not be having rent or expense in your accounts because they have all been factored in this computation of while complying with FRS 16. Note 14, debtors and prepayments. The net debtors for the year amounts to 110.4 million, while in 2019, 105.2 million. The interest due receivable, 15 million. In 2019, 17.7 million. Check of arrears receivable, 68.8 million in 2020, while in 2019, 56.1 million. PSKSR index 2020 receivable was 3.1 million. 2019 there was none. Deposits introduction 17.5 million, while in 2019 17, so there is no major change there. And down payment on mobile banking 1 million in 2020, 2019 there was none. Forza of undrawn balances in 2020 there was none, while in 2019 you had 9 million. Other receivables 4.2 million in 2020, while in 2019 4.5 million. Then we have a rent deposit where you had 691,000. That gives you a total of 110.4, 105.2 as shown down there. Page 35, creditors and accruals. These are your liabilities as of December 2020. The total reported was 30.6 million, while in 2019, 41.88 million. Okay. The material changes. Member unallocated funds, 500,000 in 2020, while in 2019, 1.5 million. Legal fees payable in 2020 you had 476,000, while in 2019 you had 1.2 million. Interest payable in 2020 you had 956,000, in 2019 there was none in that line. Telepost investment shareholders fund in 2020 you had 2.9 million, while in 2019 you had 5.6 million. Rent expense and service charge payable, you had 4.7 million in 2020, while in 2019 you had 1.8 million. Benevolent fund 6.1 million in 2020, while in 2019 3.6 million. Deposit on sale of land and building, you had a deposit of 10 million, which has been utilized. In 2020, the negative loan balances, you had none, while in 2019 you had 2.4 million. Excess duty payable 1.5 million in 2020, while in 2019 1 million. The withholding tax payable, you have 12.1 million, 2019 12 million. For the taxes due, both the withholding tax and also the only what is reflected here is the principal. The interest, penalties, and all the related costs are not part of this, which could be also material. Note 16, investment on unquoted equities. You have reported 616.8 million. In 2019, you had 824.2 million. Cooperative bank shares reduced materially from 821.1 million to 613.6 million. These are mainly because of the prices which tend to change from and especially most of the investment companies reduced materially last year because of the COVID, and probably this year and going forward. Okay, let's go to page 36. The cash and bank balances. This shows the cash in hand, bank, M-Pesa, and all the liquid cash available. The total reported under this line is 85.5 million. In 2019, we had 93.3 million. Cash being a highly moving asset, you don't need to go through the changes during the year. The material changes. Note 18, loan to members. These are now the loans to the members of the SACCO, where the total reported down there was 171.3 million, while in 2019, you had 156.2 million. As at the start of the year, the loans were 285.3 million, while in 2019, you had 254.7 million. During the year, you have the mobile and funds amounting to 2.9 million, 2019, 1.3 million. Staff loans and funds 5 million in 2020, 2019, 1 million. Forza loans, you had 52.6 million, while in 2019, 40.5 million. BOSA loans issued during the year, 127.8 million. 2019, 138 million. Interest charged, you at 4.9 million, while 2019 you at 15.8 million. Repayments, the total repayments as at December 2020 stood at 166.6 million, while in 2019 168.6 million. We also have the provisions there. There are some details which seems to be missing there, down there. The provisions for the year amounted to 11.9 million, while in 2019 you had 5.8 million. If you take care of all those changes, the loans to members stood at 171.3 million. In 2019, 156.2 million. The provisions have been explained in the following page, that is page 37, where you have all these workings. Just go to note 18B, insider loans, where the total reported as insider loan, which includes board of directors, the current, the former directors, and also the staff loans. The current directors, their loans stood at 3.7 million, 2019, 4.7 million. The former directors, you were 22.8 million in 2019, while in 2020, 22.2. So it shows there is very low recovery of the loans from the former officials of the SACCO. The staff members, in 2020, you had reported 4.5 million, while in 2019, 1.7 million. So that gives you a total of 30.5 in 2020 and 29.3 million in 2019. In inventory, these are some of the assets which are classified as current, stationaries, pens, and all those stuff. The total reported was 170,000. In 2019, 93,000. Let's go to the next page, page 38. Savings in Cusco, the total reported is 1.2 million. In 2019, 868,000. So as at 1st December, January 2019, 2020, you had 868. Then there was additions amounting to 400,000. Okay. Now 22, loss on sale of shares. The losses were noted and reported in 2019, amounting to 4.2 million. Now 23, you have the tax. When I was saying, this is now the corporation tax at 30% previous years, and last year, because of the reduction by the government, 25%. The total payable as of December 2020 amounted to 7.3 million. In 2019, you had 7.1 million. The tax is computed from 50% of the additional income at the corporation rate of 25% as required by the Income Tax Act. So that is for 2020 only. The opening balances were calculated based on 30% corporation taxes. 24A, member deposits. As at January 2020, the member deposits stood at 375.3 million. Then during the year, there were additions amounting to 2.3 million. 2.3 million. Then refunds, 26.9 million in 2020, while in 2019, 16 million. Loan offsets and adjustments, 6 million. 2019, 28.5 million. Capitalization of deposits, 2.7 million in 2020, while in 2019, 543,000. Cooperative co-opting shares investment, 2.3 million in 2020. So that's on December, you had 369.5 million, while in 2019, 375.3 million. Member deposits, you have 449.5 million in 2020, while in 2019, 483.7 million. Boson and withdraw deposits, 369.5 from 375.3 in 2019. FOSA ordinary savings withdrawable, 54.6 million in 2020, while 2019, you had 80.8 million. FOSA fixed deposits, 1.4 million in 2020, while in 2019, you had none there. BOSA is SS deposits, 23.9 million, while in 2019, 27.5 million. So the total, 449.5 in 2020, in 2019, 43.7. Next page, 39, share capital. So the share capital stood at 64.4 million, while in 2019, 61.7 million. As at January, you had 61.7, while capitalization during the year was 2.7 million. Okay. Note 27 on interest on deposits. This where it was declared at 3% to the members. The 3% of the deposits amounted to 11.3 million. As I indicated, previous years, or rather in 2019, there was none there. Provision for bad debts. These are the bad debts arising from, as per the Sasra Act, as well as comparison of FRS 9 application. In 2019, you had 5.8, while in 2020, 11.9 million. As at January 2020, the provision stood at 132.3 million, while the write-offs at 3.2 million in 2020. Provision for the year was 140.9, while in 2019, you had 132.3 million. So the change for the year, in that case, amounts to 11.9 million. Let's go to page 40, the next page. Cooperative bank loan. As on December 2020, you had 48.6, while in 2019, 151.7 million. As at January, you had 151.7. Repayment during the year, 103.1 million. Note 30, you have intangible assets, the software and the related items, where as at December 2020, you had 2 million. 2019, you had 1.4 million. The addition during the year, firewall and system upgrade, you had 2 million and 150,000 respectively. As per the standard, intangible assets are supposed to be amortized, where the amortization charge amounted to 1.5 in 2020 and 1.4 million in 2019. Let's go to the next page, the property and equipment. This schedule explains your assets, where we normally show the cost of the assets, then depreciation, which is the loss in value. I think the notable here is the disposal of land, where it was disposed. The cost of the land and building disposed was 65 million, as you can see in the first column. Down there, you have the net carrying value, the last line there, which is the total cost of your assets less the total depreciation as on December 2020, which was 7.3 million. That is now the net book value or the realizable value. In short, it shows the cost of your assets. You have 64.9, while the accumulated depreciation is 57.6. When you find you have a high cost of the assets and high depreciation amount, shows the office could be having assets which are not efficient, which are fully depreciated but still being forced to work. Let's go back to page 25. Page 25. So we have gone through all these details of all these numbers, as you can see there. So the notable here in the statement of financial position, which shows your net worth, is that the total assets of the Sacco have reduced from 1.2 billion in 2019 to 1 billion in 2020, notably from the changes in the prices of shares and also disposals, as well as other noted changes there. The liabilities of the Sacco reduced from 684.5 million to 558.2 million. So there was a reduction in the liabilities of the Sacco. The equity as well reduced from 569 million in 2019 to 443.2 million in 2020. So that is the end of the presentation on the numbers side. Let's turn to page 20. Page 20. These are the auditor's opinion pages, where we have shown the details of this from page 20 to page 23. But in summary, the rest are all explaining the Sacco. The only thing now I would like to present is the opinion, which is in the paragraph 2 of page 20. In our opinion, the society financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the SACCO as at 31st December 2020 and of its financial performance for the year 2020. Have been prepared in accordance with the FRS's, that is International Financial Reporting Standards, and the SACCO Societies Act. So, Chairman, that marks the end of the presentation with that opinion.
Thank you so much, Joram, Manager Audit, External Audit. Honorable Delegates, allow me to recognize the presence of a cooperative officer, Madam Jane Garuya, who I skipped by mistake. Sorry, Madam Garuya. That is audit report for 2020. I can see there's a lot of chat coming up on the same item. I don't know, Bona Ominda, whether I can be able to go through them. Those that have already gotten them. Even the question, even the chairman's report come up with this in the back, you can bring them up.
Now, there are few questions here. If I can start with Caroline Kipkosgei, she's asking about dividends on ESS if they were paid. Then there's Daniel Ngetich. One by one. Okay. So Caroline is asking about dividend on ESS.
Thank you so much. Caroline from Elliot Branch. Concerning the ESS, whether dividend was paid, dividend and the ESS products, the ESS as a product has an interest that they normally pay at the end of the year. And those who are members of ESS up to December 2020 were paid interest at the rate of 4%. So in terms of payment, that one is done on the other side as a product on its own. So it's not part of the deposit itself. Thank you.
Now, next question is from Daniel Ngetich. In regards to the declared share capital, do we expect any dividends?
Good. Thank you so much, Daniel, from Engineering South Branch. Yes, this time around we decided to, what you've declared, the 3% is actually interest on deposits. The dividends is always declared on the capital shares, the 15,000 that we're having on the minimal side. But this time around, we decided to only declare interest on deposits just to start us off. But maybe next year, God willing, if we stabilize further, we'll be able to declare dividend on the capital shares. So Daniel, this time around, we did not declare a dividend on the capital share because we want to start somewhere. We are very cautious about going forward. We don't want to declare a dividend and then declare a deposit interest and then next year and then going forward we start having problem disbursing loans and other activities. So we decided to skip paying dividend on the capital shares. Thank you.
Aquino Achieng she's asking, when is this dividend going to be paid to the members? Aquino Achieng asks, when is this dividend going to be paid to the members?
Good, Achieng. God willing, we'll start paying dividend next week, possibly from Wednesday, Thursday. You remember in the previous years when dividend declared sometime to close of time, but this time around, we'll pay them next week between Wednesday, Friday, and Thursday. Thank you.
Ispa Ruto asked, are we listing defaulters at the CRB?
Yes, sana. We are listening to them like nobody's business. Thank you. Rispa from Marketing Department. Defaulters, we are listening to them in CRB. Beside that, we also send their names to debt collectors. And also, we've got internal mechanism that's being led by the manager, the default department. Mr. Samuel is also chasing them very, very seriously. Thank you, Rispa.
Now, there's a question from Richard Kipkoech. He says the chairman report, page 18, non-remittance 2019 for PCK was 40 million. It has now jumped to 69 million. What is happening? Then on the same, she asks, what efforts are being made to address the same?
Thank you so much, Richard from Kericho branch. Yes, those are challenges that PCK are experiencing. You realize that last year when the pandemic struck, somewhere along the line, salary were not forthcoming for PCK. But around October, when the government bailed it out, we got some good amount of money. And before that, we also had some backlog that was way back 2019, 2018 downwards. So it has shot up because we had agreed after the payment of the lump sum, the top management of PCK had agreed to give us something on a monthly basis in terms of cash vis-a-vis the agency fee. But unfortunately, somewhere along the line again, things become difficult. On the way forward, how do you intend to recover the money? We are doing all we can. We've had a lot of stakeholders meeting with the top management of PCK, and we are still pursuing them, hoping that the business will normalize and be able to get our money. It's actually a very serious threat to the society survival, because if you're having close to around 69 million outside, if God willing that you're able to get that money right now, Mr. Richard, I can assure you will spring. But unfortunately, that's what we have in the PCK. Business are doing well, but you're pursuing. Thank you. Richard from Kericho.
The last question comes from Gatu. He says, Auditor Report Note 9. Why should the provisions for loan loss increase while the chairman has reported on defaulted loans which have been recovered?
Thank you, Gatu from Nyeri branch. I'll give that question to our CEO to respond.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gatu and the delegates for that observation. So just to explain how we account for loan loss. So there's a new standard which all SACCOs and all financial institutions are adhering to at the moment. IFRS 9, I'm sure you have heard the auditor mention that, and also the chairman's report has mentioned that in our 2019 report. So non-performing loans are in three categories. We have the substandard loans. There's a provision for that at 25%. We have doubtful loans. The provision for that is 50%. And loss loans, the provision for that is 100%. That simply means that if you took a loan, let's say January 2020, you took 100,000, and at the close of 2020, 360 days later, you are yet to pay a single cent. The whole 100,000 is declared to be a loss loan. So that means that the SACCO does not expect to receive that money after 1 year, even though we shall continue to pursue for repayment. But according to the books, that loan is at the loss. So the categories continue to change as depending on member behavior in terms of repayment of their loans. So the longer that the loans stay out there instead of being repaid, the worse the category. So most of our defaulted loans, especially those that are very old, 2016 backwards, unfortunately, all of those defaulted loans are now at the loss category. So it means if the value is 100 million, then the entire 100 million is at the loss category. So as much as we continue to recover, it means that they will remain there until we either write off or continue to recover in full.
Good. Gato, nafikiri umesikia hiyo maneno. Kuna anything else? Mzito.
There was a question here that said, although I think you've already answered it, okay, kindly elaborate clearly on the shares being sold to the members and how it's being carried out.
Okay. I said the share was totaling up to 387,800. That's what the members have so far bought from the co-holding shares, and equally the interest and dividend will be the interest will be declared on the same amount, on the same percentage. So those who already have those shares will get at least interest on that amount of money that's been declared. Thank you. So I think that sums up the auditor's report. So can we have a proposer and a seconder for the auditor's report in terms of adoption? Please drop down your name as a proposer or a seconder for the auditor's report.
Ruto Rispa has proposed for the adoption of the auditor's report.
Okay. Thank you, Rispa, for proposing. Seconder? I'm waiting for seconder to propose adoption of, to second adoption of the auditor's reports. Please drop your name there. Good. Thank you so much, Simon Gashara. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That sums up the external auditor's reports. So I think from there we move to Supervisory Committee reports. Treasurer. Yes. Yeah, we are going to Treasurer's reports. I want to take this opportunity to welcome our National Treasurer, Mr. Gerald Minor, to take us through the reports.
Thank you, National Chairman, Board of Directors, and Honorable Delegates. I take this opportunity to present the Treasurer's report to you this ADM of today. I'll go through very fast so that we can go together. The Chairman of Board, our Chief Guest, distinguished members, it is my great pleasure to present to you a financial performance Telepost Sacco Limited for the year ended 31st 2020, and highlights of the regulatory and economic environment that we operated under in the 12 months of the year 2020. Over the last several years, we have continued in pursuit of our strategic targets to present you our ambition and achieve in the year on. I start with the operating environment overview. The microeconomic environment. It is worth noting that we are announcing these results on the backdrop of challenging year, particularly in the country's economic environment across all industries, with suppressed growth and struggling business performance due to COVID-19 and its effects. As we may be aware, some companies issued profit warnings by December 2020, while others were forced to either downsize or close operations to keep their business afloat. The Sacco demographics. Sacco as a cooperative enterprise are first and foremost members-owned institutions, and also economic enterprises which are member-owned and member management business enterprise. The operations of a Sacco are not entirely for profit, hence the Sacco economic consideration of the various owners come into play. Our Sacco membership was composed of the below basic democratic measures at that 1st December 2020. Sorry, that table there does not show the democratic. The table which shows that demographic is on the next page, that is page 44. I got the financial performance highlights. Revenue and expenses. Operation revenue for the year 2020 were 48.2 million, which represent an increase of 13.4 compared to 42.5 million in the year 2019. Investment income totaled to 173.6 million, arising from the Cooperative Bank dividend, post-investment liquidation dividend, interest from savings and gain on sale of building at 80 million, 10 million, and 0.6 million, and 82.4 million, respectively. Total expenses, including the provision for the loan for the year, totaled 81.3 compared to 116.5 million in the previous years, which represents about 30% decrease. On the share capital grew by 4% to close the year at 64.4 million, up from 61.7 million in the year 2019. On capital adequacy ratios from the audit accounts 2020, the Sacco has not achieved any of the three key capital adequacy ratios, which are core capital, institutional capital, and core capital to deposit. All these ratios are negative position, and this calls for a combined effort from our leaders to try and improve the situation. To achieve the required minimum ratios of 10%, 8%, and 8% for core capital, institutional capital, and core capital to deposit ratio respectively, the Sacco needs to continuously improve its performance. The below key measures will enable improvement of the performance. Number A, improved patronage by members through more uptake of Sacco loans instead of bank loans. Number B, members who channel their salaries through our FOSA. C, increase monthly deposit contribution to improve Sacco liquidity. And number D, market the Sacco at our stations to our spouses, even friends, to increase membership. E, members whose bank loans are 200,000 and below to approach the Sacco for possible loan buy-off. And number F, prompt repayment of all loans products by members. Item number 4, that's member deposits. On our non-withdrawal deposits decreased by 1.5%, closing the year at 369.5 million, down from 373.3 million in the year 2019. This is mainly a result of continuous deposit refunds that have been long overdue and continually accumulating, reaching to a high of 80 million as year 2019. Item number 5, that is interest on members' deposits. In line with the Chairman's report proposed that to declare a return of 3% on members' deposit, I urge the leaders present here today to show a faith in their own Sacco by agreeing with the below recommendations. Recommendation number 1, Honorable Delegates are urging you to increase the minimum contribution to 3,000 up from 2,000. And as delegates also, we make it compulsory for all delegates to channel their salaries through our FOSA. So with that, I will ask you now to allow me to go through the budget, the proposed budget for the year 2022, which is on the page number 45. We go to the particulars of the budget. We start with our revenue stream, and we are going to compare the 2020, what we had approved, and what was actual. Then we propose what we intend to spend in the year 2021-22. On the revenue stream, we start with the interest on the BOSA loans. All the items listed there, that's interest on BOSA loans, interest on SAF loans. After the last item, commission and operating income, we had approved an expenditure of 72.2 million, but actual was, what we received was 48.2. We are proposing now what to receive is about 57.1 million for 2021, then 73 million in 2022. Operating income from Cooperative Bank dividend to the last item, what we had approved to receive was about 150 million, but actual was 221. We are proposing 2021, 141 million, and 2022, 149.3 million. On the expenses, personnel expenses from salary and wages to the last item, that is casual labor and internship, we had approved about 28 million, actual was 18.3. In 2021, we are proposing 22.7, and 2022, 24.6. Government expenses, what was approved was 10.3, actual was 7.8, 2021, proposal 10.2, and 2022, 10.6. You go to the next page, that is on members and marketing and education expenses. 2020 approval was 4.7, but the actual expenditure was 287,000. We are proposing 2021 3.9 and 2022 4.2. Financial expenses, that's from interest on the bank loan to the last item, interest on members' deposits. What was approved was 24 million, actual was 22.3 million. 2021 proposal 15 million, 2022 16.7 million. Administrative expenses, those items listed there, cash, fidelity, insurance to the last item, which is electricity expenses. The approval was 16.7, actual was 17.2. 2021 proposal is 23.2, and the year to follow, that is 2022, 19.3. Depreciation and amortization we are intending in the 2022 about 3 million. Bad debts provision, we had a provision about 18 million. What was actually was 11.9. This year, we are putting at 21.8, and the year to follow at 8 million. So total expenses for 2020 was 104. The approved was 104, but actual was 81.3. So we are putting 2020 at 100 million, and the year to follow is 6 million. So net operating surplus for the year 2020 was 140. Actual against the approval 46 million. So this year we are putting at 40, 41 million, and the year to follow 62 million. We go to the next page. That's where we are showing the capital. Those capital investments, what we usually did in the last year, 2020. We had, in 2020, we had about 22,000 for bill counter machine. Since that one has been bought, we are not proposing anything in the year 20 and the year to follow. We installed firewall at 2 million. We are not proposing because that one is already in place. Files management system in 2021, we intend to use about 500,000. Computer server and Windows license this year 2.1 million. Teleprinter and counter display machine, we are proposing 40 million. Server memory, that one is already done, 75 million. Mobile banking system, 3.7 already done. Computer hardware, 4.7. But in the year 2022, we are proposing for computer hardware at 840,000. And also we intend, if all goes well, to buy a Sacco fund at 3 million. Chairman, that is the proposed budget for the year 2021-22. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our National Treasurer, Mr. Gerald Maina, for that presentation of the Treasurer's report. Let us get a proposer and seconder for the adoption of the Treasurer's reports. Please drop your name on the chat so that we can be able to continue. And please remember, we're almost running short of time. The AGM is supposed to be 2 hours. So unajua tukipita hapa serikali itakuja wanachota sisi wote tukiwa sell from Monday na taliba dividend. So please tuhakikishe. Aja serikali ya Matiang'i is no joke. Can we get proposal?
Kiambati.
Yeah. First Kiambati from Machakos branch. Thank you so much. Seconder. Jeremiah Towet from Parkland branch. Thank you so much. Anything coming? Hakuna. So we go to the Baswara Committee report. Honorable Delegate, remember I told you, you're almost running short of time. Meeting supposed to take only 2 hours. Anything beyond there, they're Bangili. So, Chair, Supervisory Committee, please just give us an highlight of your reports. I therefore want to wish to take this opportunity to welcome our Chair, Supervisory Committee, to take us through Supervisory Committee reports in an highlight form. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. We go straight to page 3, the introduction. The chief guests, the County Director Nairobi, the National Chairman, Telepost Sacco Limited, Board of Directors, Honorable Delegates, Telepost Sacco staff, distinguished guests. The Supervisory Committee takes this opportunity to present to you the Supervisory Report for the year 2020. The committee commends the Board of Directors for their commitment in efficiently directing the business of Telepost Sacco during the financial year 2020. We also recognize the efforts of the Telepost management and staff and commend them for their good work. Executive summary. The period data review had its own pros and cons as evidenced by records available to us. As you can remember vividly, it's the year the COVID-19 pandemic emerged, drastically ravaging the country's economy and negatively impacting on social lifestyle of Kenyans, owing to curfews and other restrictions imposed by the government. During this period, the government issued protocols which were to be observed by every citizen as a way of curtailing the pandemic. Every institution had the obligation to keep its staff safe, and Telepost Sacco was not left behind as they braved the situation to incur emergency expenditures in order to protect its members and other stakeholders. We take this opportunity to thank the Board of Directors and management who took swift safety measures in compliance with Ministry of Health best practices directives and went further to procure laptops and for staff empowerment for those who are working from home. The COVID-19 times triggered positively the use of online platforms. WhatsApp has now become the most efficiently and frequently used media of communication in sending attachment for customer-related documents to the Sacco. It has also eased the work of delegates, allowing members to articulate issues directly in real time with the Sacco staff. In an effort to reduce check of remittance backlog, the Sacco management entered into an agreement with PCK to reduce the remittance backlog through postal agency, which showed the backlog reduced from 60 million to 54.6. It's encouraging to note that the year the review was devoid of any external borrowing. However, the Sacco was servicing historical bank loan, which by end of the financial year stood at 49 million, a true indication of Sacco economic self-reliance. By close of the year 2020, membership stood at 1273. We are also glad to report that during Q2 of the year, the review performance management system was introduced, implying that moving forward, the Sacco employees will be measured under set KPIs to increase productivity. The current 5-year strategic plan will be expiring in the current financial year. It's therefore important to start preparing the blueprint that will drive the Sacco activities for the next 5 years. Observations, finding ad hoc checks, and recommendations. During the period data review, the supervisory committee conducted ad hoc checks on the following operational risk. That was ICT system, security, and human resource policy. The supervisory committee made some proposals, of which some have been implemented appropriately, while some are work in progress. There is a table there. The Sacco is on the right trajectory despite reduction in memberships and members' deposit. A closer look at the table above indicates slow growth. Share capital, however, increased. Interest on members' loan as well increased. External borrowing drastically reduced by 68%. In order to improve the loan book further, the supervisory committee proposes review of current products to make them more attractive and also introduce new products, such as Christmas and Dream Holiday savings, purchase of mobile and laptop savings. Members are also encouraged to increase their savings. And number 3.1 is the membership. We go to 3.2 where we have the loan disbursement. Loan defaulters, 3.3, and loan classification. Loaning being our core business, it's imperative to jealously safeguard it. In view of this, the supervisory committee recommends the following. Name of all defaulters without sufficient contact and addresses should be printed and shared with delegates during ADM. This will enhance contact tracing. Send demand letters to current employers for those in employment to collect the debt on Sacco's behalf. The Sacco to increase the number of debt collectors from the current 3 who manage 3 million against 145 million to as many as possible and supervise them closely, since the commission is a percentage of what they have collected, hence not costly to deploy. The debt collection section should aggressively pursue debts classified as underwatch, because it's during this period that such defaulters are still traceable, and chances are they have not completely depleted the revenue resources. Concerning loans which were fraudulently given to former board of directors, the Sacco should report to the Cooperative Tribunal Court, to the Ombudsman, or take them to Sacco Society Fraud Investigation Unit for lack of commitment to recover the lost funds. The risk management, we have ICT, then the registry and filing. The world is evolving towards digital environment, particularly on how companies handle their customer data. This is important as it aids in easy data mining. In an environment like ours of Sacco business, it will be important to be able to access unique member attributes, e.g., age, most patronized products, loan history, and dependents, etc., by just a click of a button. In view of this, the Supervisory Committee proposes introduction of digital filing system in the near future. This will enhance the level of security of documents and customer experience. On governance, we have representation by delegates. The number of delegates reduced to 59 from 72 in 2019. This implies that some branches are not adequately represented. The committee urges the board of directors to navigate the matter to ensure members' interests are taken care of. On this note, the Supervisory Committee recommends rationalization of delegates based on the findings that some branches do not have members to necessitate representation, while others have members that are not represented. Pending fraud cases on default loan, the Supervisory Committee observed that the recovery of lost funds through fraudulent transactions and defaulted loans by former board of directors and staff members are yet to be recovered, and the momentum to recovery has been hampered by slow court processes by Cooperative Tribunal and COVID-19 protocols. The Supervisory Committee urges the board to put the recovery of these funds as part of key performance indicator deliverables in the next financial year that the Sacco management shall be measured against. So then we have the challenges and recommendations, and finally on the conclusion. The committee notes with gratitude that the board of directors, management, and members of staff have consistently been very supportive in facilitating data collection, making reports and other supervisory deliverables very substantive. The Supervisory Committee shall continue deploying curative and preventive style of reporting as opposed to giving disclosures of catastrophic occurrences, of which, like water under the bridge, may have minimal value and impact to society's prosperity. We are glad that all the teams look very determined to do things differently for the betterment of our society. Thank you and God bless you.
As you drop in your responses, if there's anything that you want to be mentioned and the Supervisory Committee report, please drop it. We'll be able to respond. And those who have dropped questions that have not been responded, don't be worried. We'll be able to take all the report, all the questions, observations that have been dropped down there, and be able to report and respond to them and send to all the branches. Even if it's not mentioned today, but I can assure you we'll be able to capture them, and a response will be provided to you all after this AGM. Good, so we move to item on appointment of auditors. Where is the page? Where are the auditors? Page 48, 28. Thank you so much, honorable delegates. We've got three names of auditing firm on page 48 of our booklet. Number one is Henry Smith LLP at a cost of $250,000. Number two is JM Associates at a cost of $348,000. Number two, and number three is Omanwa and Associates at a cost of $429,200. So I want the first two names, which will be proposing, or rather a firm, which firm are going to take for our auditing the next 3 years. So if it is Henry Smith, please drop down there the name. If it's JM, drop the name. If it is Omanwa, an associate, drop the name. So just put the name down of the auditing firm and be able to pick. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm waiting for the names to be floated for the auditing firm in the next 3 years. That's what the rule says. That after every 3 years, we drop the auditing firm and pick a new one. So I'm waiting for the first name to appear on the charts. So write your name and the auditing firm proposing. Any of the three we want to choose for you. They're all qualified. They are shortlisted, the 3 auditing firm. They are qualified. So at the board level, we are comfortable with any name you give us among the 3. Sorry. I'm waiting for the names. Is there a name coming?
Collins, Indeje Collins has proposed JM Associates. Richard Tanui has proposed Henry Smith.
So the number of the delegates who are more than number. Wow.
We have people who are still proposing. I mean, I can see Henry Smith, Henry Smith, Henry Smith, Henry Smith, Henry Smith again.
Good. Thank you so much, Honorable Delegate. I think you're going to go, yeah? We are going to go by the name of audit firm of Henry Smith, LLP. So can I have a proposal and seconder? Tumemaliza kuchagua. Sasa ni, the winner is Henry Smith, LLP, at the cost of 350,000 Kenya shilling. So drop your name for proposal and seconder for the Henry Smith, LLP. Thank you so much, Mr. Beran Buvi from Nakuru, proposing. And then can you get a seconder? Yeah? Daniel Ngetich from Engineering South, seconder. Thank you so much, Daniel. Good. Just before I sit down, Honorable Delegates, I've got another item here about the 51st ADM resolution. And this is how it reads. resolutions by the board. Amending of the bylaw 36 annual delegate meetings to introduce sub-clause 4 to read, delegate meetings may be by means of a video conferencing technology or similar communication equipment by means of which all persons participating in the meeting can hear each other. Participation in a meeting in such a manner shall constitute presence in persons at such meeting. Such meetings may be partially or wholly virtual meeting as shall be decided by the board. That's resolution number 1. Resolution number 2, amend of the bylaw number 42 elections to introduce sub-clause 9 to read electronic voting may be conducted if warranted by the nature of delegate general meeting. Resolution number 3, amending of bylaws number 50, board and committee meetings, to introduce sub-clause 3 to read members of board of directors, supervisory committee, and members of any subcommittee of the board may participate in a meeting of such board or committee by means of a conference, telephone, video conferencing technology, or similar communication equipment by means of which all persons participating in the meeting can hear each other. Participation in a meeting in such a manner shall constitute presence in persons at such meetings. Such meeting may be partially or wholly virtual meeting. So, board of that, so honorable delegate, please you need a propose and seconder. You know, we are having problems in terms of COVID, and sometimes we hold the meeting virtually. Okay, propose and seconder. Richard Chanui.
As proposed. Joyce Otieno from Busia has seconded.
Thank you. Richard Tanui, proposer, and Joyce from Busia, seconded. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair. We move to the next agenda. I now want to invite the DCO to take us through agenda number 10.
Sorry, honorable delegates. We skipped to get the proposal and the seconder for the interest on deposit declaration. So please drop your name. Drop your name. For those who are proposing and seconding the interest on deposit, ama dividend. Ama mutaki to declare, najua ni sawa tu. Please drop your name for proposal and seconder for the dividend. Yeah, I'm sure they should be coming very fast. Ama usitype jina mrefu, ja type tu kidogo. Yeah, thank you, Josh Mibe from Kasabet branch proposing. And Solomon Kebut from Nakuru. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, honorable delegates. Yes.
Thank you, National Chairman. Honorable delegates, in my report, I had a proposal. We increase our share deposits from 2,000 to 3,000. And I believe you agree. If you agree with this, can we propose and we go that way, so that we can increase our liquidity and increase our dividend payment out in the year to follow, this year. I'm waiting for your response. Proposal and seconder. All of us, honorable delegates, I'm just urging you and requesting you, for us to get a dividend of more than 3%, can we channel our salaries through FOSA so that the FOSA revenue can increase? Increase the deposits. So if you support me, kindly drop in your proposal. Esther Kimani, thank you very much for proposing a seconder. The more we put this money, this is your savings. And the more you save, the more you're going to get the dividends. And the dividends is going to move from 3%, God willing, and our performance to 5% next year, or more than that. So can we get a seconder we move? I think all of us are happy today getting 3%. The board has been contributing 5,000 each. So we are saying we move together. Delegates, we are the same in this leadership of this society. We have gotten a proposal. Honorable delegates, I'm waiting for you, please. Support me on this. Then next year, you're going to the FOSA smiling. So in this case, members, honorable members, this one is for just us, viongozi, leaders, delegates, not all members. All members, we have to go back to the education and tell them we would like to increase their share contribution from 2,000 to 3,000. This one's for us. The board is already contributing 5,000 each. So I was requesting you, you can also increase by 1,000, we go to 3,000. Or if you are not for that idea, I can give you a suggestion. Thank you very much, Shadrach. You are with me. Can we proceed? Two proposals. Can we get second as we move? This is your money, delegates. Yeah, as it is said, the leadership as a cost. We lead by example. Others to follow. Board has led the way. Solomon Kebut for giving us a figure at least. We are moving. We are not still at the 2,000, we are at 2,500. But I beg you, let's go by my proposal, 3,000. That's a figure which... Shadrach, thank you very much from Iten for seconding my suggestion. So the rest, can we go by that? Another seconder. We are very democratic. We don't want to use force. This is just a matter of persuasion, and we are persuading you just to agree with us. We move. Richard and you, thank you very much. So I think, honorable delegates, we go by that. Any dissenting opinion? So can I say the ayes have it? From when? We can decide. We can start as from the next month. Delegates only. Or we can propose we can start at the middle of the year. We can start in June. So that those who are still consulting or massaging their souls can continue. In the next 2 months, they can make up their mind and we contribute 3,000. Are we ready to go? I think the proposal is so encouraging. I understand from the voting, the no's are more than the yes. So I would appeal to those who are voluntarily willing, kindly increase your shares from 2,000 to 3,000. Next time we are going to revisit, we agree all of us will move to 3,000. But those who are willing, voluntarily, can you just increase your shares? Next year, you'd go all the way to Foster Laughing because the dividend, the interest on that deposit will have gone up. Thank you very much, our national chairman.
Amejaribu kutafuta pesa lakini imeshindikana. Lakini sasa vile amelemewa kwa delegate. Ngoja, vile amelemewa kwa delegate, board members mtafanya kitu, muongeze ngiri moja ndio hiyo mtu achiondoa asiaibike. Ameenda sokoni. Najua ukienda kutega samaki kurudi vile samaki hata moja si mzuri. So please fellow directors, fanyeni kitu. Dividend itakuwa 5% next year. Na mtu asikuja kuomba mimi yangu, sababu yangu itakuwa juu sana. Yes. Thank you so much. So we go to the second but not least. Election. Yes, so we want to call upon the Cooperative Officer, Madam Jane Garuya, to take us through the following session.
Thank you, the Chairman, the Board of Directors, staff of Telepost Sacco, and everybody else. Hamjambo tena. I'm Jane Garuya, and my responsibility now is very literal, is to elect those who are retiring and they are eligible for the election. They have been vetted, and now I present them to you so that you make a remark, you propose them, and you second them, and they continue being the leaders of this organization. With that, Charles Mama, Charles, Celestine, John G. Muraya. Yes, those are the 3 members who were retiring by rotation, and they were eligible for the election, and I declare those positions vacant. Thank you. The good thing, after going through the vetting, we had only 3 who qualified to seek re-election. Are we together? So who proposes Charles? Charles should have a proposer and a seconder.
Delegates group the names of the chat.
Okay. So give us the name. Who has proposed, Charles? Proposer and seconder of Charles.
Collins Ndeje, proposer. And Dorcas Etemesi from Kakamega branch. Collins is from Kapsabet branch and Dorcas Kakamega branch.
Kakamega.
Yes.
Thank you. So Charles is legally re-elected because he has a proposer and a seconder. Celestine. Proposer and seconder of Celestine. Joyce.
Joyce from, yeah? We are still waiting for proposer and seconder for Director Celestine Ngalese. Lawrence Mungwana from Bungoma branch, thank you.
I think the message came in late.
Okay. Seconder? Daniel Ngetich from Engineering South. Thank you. Yeah, Natasha. Next.
Okay. Next is John G. Muraya.
Okay. John Muraya. Proposer and seconder for Director John Muraya. Not actually director for you. Unajua saya ni raia. Mpaka mchague ndio kwa director. Proposer and seconder for John Muraya. Proposer and seconder for John Muraya. Stephen Isaac Ndichu from Tika branch. Thank you, Ndichu. Yeah? And Samuel Langat from Engineering Central. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And they were legally re-elected, and now they are able to hold their positions back. Then on supervisory, we have John Opio, who is retiring. Tom Opio, sorry. Tom Opio's mama. Tom Opio ni yeye, and I declare that position vacant. Fortunately or unfortunately, he is the only candidate for that position. So we need a proposer and a seconder so that he continue being in the supervisory committee. Katie or Tom?
Janet Obonyo from Kakamega branch has proposed Tom Opio.
From HR. So you have given them a new mandate of 3 years. So you should not start complaining why Tom is in the committee, Celestine, Charles, and John G. Mulaya, because you have given them a mandate of another 3 years. I would also like to emphasize on the importance of saving. When your treasurer requests you to add that 1,000, that 1,000 belongs to you. I believe me and you use more than 100 shillings per day on credit and bundles. How much do we really use? It is between 100 and 200. Each one of us. And some messages we use on these credits are not beneficial. So if you spend 3,000 per month or 6,000 per month on credit, that is 6,000 or 3,000, and you are being urged to contribute just 3,000 for yourself, which means to me and you, credit is important than you. Because you are giving more to Safaricom and you are giving less to yourself. So with all due respect, try to move something from the Safaricom to your account. so that you get a higher dividend in the future. Thank you.
Our Cooperative officer, Madam Jane Garuya. On that note, apart from airtime, wale wanakamata balozi na ile vitu vingine, si najua hiyo ni ghali sana. Una spend maybe 1,000 every day. Yale maneno mengine, we translate almost 30,000 per month. Sasa unaona ungesikuma kwa sako is going to help you in the future. So please, angalia maneno. Thank you so much. I want to repeat again that those questions that have been dropped on the chat and have not been responded to, we shall be able to pick all of them, respond to them, and then send to all of you for you to be able to consume them. So nothing is lost. Kama maswali yako hayajajibiwa, observation, we respond to it and then send back to you. Because ADM is not a matter of life and death. Life continues after ADM. So I want to now go to the final issue, which is giving vote of thanks. And this one will be done by Director Ellen Toom. And then we'll go to prayer for the closing of the session, which will be given by our able CEO, Madam Marianne Dekay. So Ellen.
Good afternoon, all. Thank you so much, Chair, for giving me this opportunity. First, I want to start by thanking our Almighty Father for giving us this time. And it's not, I should not take it that by grant that we are here today. It is through His grace and mercies that we've seen this day. And we really say thank you to God. Secondly, I want to thank our Nairobi County Director, Madam Aremo. She has really worked with us this journey to be where we are is because of her wisdom and guidance. So thank you so much, Madam Aremo, for coming. I also wish to thank the Starehe County Cooperative officers present. We appreciate you people. We are here together and you've been with us. We work together. Thank you so much for coming. Apart from that, I also wish to thank our board of directors for their great guidance and leadership. To have seen how our SACCO have really grown from where we were the previous year to now. Thank you so much, my fellow board of directors, and let's continue striving and even moving higher from where we are. Apart from that, I also want to thank the staff. First, by thanking the CEO, Madam Marianne, for really working tirelessly to see this day to be a success. Thank you so much, Madam CEO and the entire team. I say thank you to everyone for having time for this, to attend this session today. I know it was challenging, this our virtual meeting, and I really thank God it has come to a success. Before I end, I just encourage all of us to continue following the government guidance. Let's keep safe. We are not yet off the hook. This thing is still at our doorstep. Let's maintain the regulations that have been given by the government. Continue washing our hands, sanitizing, wear masks, and keep safe. Thank you all. Sorry, I forgot to thank our delegates. Thank you so much for all of you. You've really also worked very hard, and that's why we are here together. Asante sana. And the communication team, not to forget you. I'm so sorry. I thank you guys. You made it a success. The place is looking nice, bright. So next time we can even move even better. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
So I'd like us to pray and thank the Lord in conclusion. We thank you, Lord, for gathering us in this 51st annual delegates meeting. We thank you for our participants on location. We thank you for our participants online. We thank you for our directors. We thank you for our staff team. We thank you for our delegates. And most importantly, we thank you for our members who have caused us to be here. We thank you, Lord, for Telepost Sacco and for the far that you have brought us. Thank you for the good plans that you have for us. They are for good and not for evil, to give us a future and a hope. We thank you because Telepost Sacco has a future. Telepost Sacco has hope. Oh Lord, even after this meeting, the good things we are hearing, we thank you because it is an evidence of the good plans that you have for us. We pray that we shall continue to guide our steps. You will continue making a way for us. You will continue to make our path straight. We bless our members, Lord, wherever they are. You will continue to watch over them and keep them safe together with their families. Give them good health. We thank you, Lord, for the next time we shall meet here. Thank you for the better results that we shall have posted. We thank you, Lord, even for the current pandemic in the nation. You're going to do something and overturn the situation for the glory and honor of your name. Thank you. As we close this meeting, we bless you and we honor you. In Jesus' name do we pray and believe. Amen.